Greetings again from Scouse Farm. Got a little interesting building for you all today, Liverpool heritage and all that. So the sun is shining directly at the camera, unfortunately, but fortunately for me, because I've not seen the sun for a while. There she is. Hello. But this is the Gaumont Cinema. Or originally it was built as a cinema, and it was built, or it was opened in 1937. So it would have taken a year or two beforehand to get it all up and running, but you can see the style of the building. You've got a lovely like curvature which goes all the way around. Just wait for that stupid bus to go past. The curve goes all the way around, so we're on Park Road now, and then it curves round and goes up Dingle Lane. And this is an Art Deco building, which apparently that was the style at the time, a lot of curves, less straight lines. And it's directly over the road from the ancient chapel of Toxteth, which was built in 1618. And if you've not seen it yet, there's a video on the channel that shows the ancient chapel, and I'll show you the back of it today because I'm going to cross the road soon. But as mentioned, it was built in 1937, or opened, and it was the first Gaumont projection-matic system, which means, if I've read it correctly, that you don't need a real projectionist, because all of the film reels get changed automatically. So it's just like a cruise control for whoever's standing there in the projection booth. So they just sit down, put the reel on, and then this system takes over. And this is a better view now at the front. You got the entrance there, which obviously, because it's been derelict for a number of years, it's looking rough, loads of graffiti and whatnot, but at the moment it's being used basically for these hideous masts. So these are popping up on top of all of Liverpool's tall buildings, and I imagine if you're in a UK city, they're on your buildings too, unfortunately. So we'll let these buses go past and I'll give you a good look at the entrance. But apparently it's a 1500 seater. So in 1937, you know, the population of the UK was far less than what it is today, and you've got a cinema in Toxteth which can hold 1500 people. But I imagine as the advent of talking pictures come in the late 20s, this was quite a novel place to come and watch something that was still blowing people's minds at the time. It was still a bit of magic, really, that you could watch a film of people actually moving and talking, because prior to that, all of the entertainment was usually people who are on stage and doing cabarets and whatever else. But it's a shame it's still in rack and ruin, but what a wonderful building. You know, you've got a piece of heritage there, and I assumed it was listed, but I don't think it is listed. And it did go into auction recently, I think around 2021, so a few years back. It was bought at auction by an unknown buyer, or at least unknown to me, and nothing's happened since. It's just still derelict, full of pigeons and bits falling off in the wind, and now O2 are using it to put these masts on, which I'm hoping it's not them who bought the building and kept it a secret, so to speak, and they're just using it for these masts, because I think it should be compulsory for this to be brought back into use. And if it isn't listed, then it needs to be turned into something else, or at least knocked down, and which I would hate to see. But if it's not listed, that would be an option, is to replace it with something new. And for those who are interested in, because we're coming up to Halloween, those interested in like ghosts and goblins and things, this apparently is one of the most haunted buildings in Liverpool, and it's been shown on one of those documentaries, well, I say documentary loosely, but one of those entertainment programs, I should say, about ghosts and goblins and things. So unfortunately, as you can see, there's no way for me to get inside unless I broke in, which I'm not going to do. And I did speak to one of the fellas who lives around here. He lives over there in this little grove, and he's saying like it's been derelict and empty since 1969, but it was used as a picture house until the early 60s, and then in the 60s it was shut down and reopened as a bingo hall. And I think the Shadows, which are a band headed by Cliff Richard, who is a native of Liverpool, they played here in 1961, and I imagine a lot of bands and local talent acts were using this space to get the name out there and get some eyes on their acts. But as a building, I just think, imagine what you could do with that if you had, well, a few £1 million. But whoever bought it in around 2021, 22-ish, why it's still not had anything done to it, I don't know. And for those who are interested in doing a bit of digging, it might be a little happy investigation for you if you try and figure out if it's got any planning permission in place or plans. I know you can go on the Liverpool Council website and go on the planning portal and find out what buildings are getting converted and things. So I might do that myself if I get time. But you can see now, if you leave it, it just ends up like this. I mean, you've got leaks, water, moss, everything. There's loads of pigeons in there, and if you walk underneath this overhang, it does look a bit rickety. So I think that's a safety issue that should be addressed, because it doesn't take much of a heavy wind for that to start rattling, and anything falling off could land on top of someone. And well, there's nothing on it now, but it's being used for advertising, so whoever owns the building is getting paid for that. And while I'm here, I'll show you the back of the ancient chapel, because I'm coming around the graveyard now. But for a building, look at that, it's fantastic. And there's not much else to see around the other side. It just curves round, as you can see, and then it carries on a little bit up Dingle Lane. But it is a wonderful old haunted building apparently, so if you want to see pictures of it inside, I will leave a link down below, so have a look down below in the video description, and there's a link to a website there, and it shows the internal pictures, and it's like, it literally is stepping back in time, but it's just wonderful. It does look quite eerie and haunting in some of the rooms within this building, and someone was lucky enough to get inside and take a few pictures of all of the different rooms. So if you're interested in looking inside, I'll leave that link down below. Let me move you around now. We've got the back of, this is the back of the ancient chapel. If I can get through the bars, you can see in the background there, we've got like a arched area covering some statues, and we've got the gravestones in the front. And I think it's opened every now and again for people to come in and tend and visit the graves, but I imagine, considering the building was erected in 1618, that a lot of these gravestone dates are for people who are long past. Well, can't see much from here, but that's the back of the ancient chapel of Toxteth. And I'll walk you around the front now, you can see the side of it at least. Let's get a look at this grave. For information, there we go, ancient chapel of Toxteth, founded 1618. See if we can see any dates on this headstone. 1817, I think that says. Let me get in there. Try and get over this stick. Yeah, I think I can see, yeah, 1817, aged 12 years, which is quite tragic. If I put my finger in, I think I can get my finger there. There we go, 1817. You can see that there. So yeah, very doubtful that anyone visits the graves of relatives in here because they're so old. Yet another wonderful building though. And if you've not seen it, have a look on the channel and you'll see a video titled ancient chapel of Toxteth or something like that. And this the side look of it. Still standing today. Right, that'll do you all for today. Thank you very much for watching. Please give the video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel out, pushes it to a wider audience, and hopefully gets a few new eyes on the channel so I can get more subscribers. And as said there, please subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already. And Scouse Farm, next to this haunted building. We'll see you all again soon.